Hey gang, so one of the things I always love to do with my classes, of course, is to go over examples of what works and what doesn't on whatever topic I'm teaching about. So today we're going to look at blogs, and we're going to start with what doesn't work and build ourselves up to those blogs out there that really capture people's attention and get people coming back for more. Um, and I want to start with the bad blogs because I think we've all seen these, but you may not know why they're bad. You just know they are. And I know that when I talk to a lot of authors about having a blog, they get this kind of panicked, glazed look of, oh God, I don't want to be a blogger, because they've had that experience of going out on the web and seeing these god awful blogs. And unfortunately a lot of them are authors, and nobody wants to be that person. You don't want to be the person who has a blog that everyone's like, oh, we have to read her blog or his blog. So that's the goal of this class, is for you not to be someone whose blog is the ones everyone rolls their eyes and goes, ugh, I don't want to go to that blog. You want to be the one that everyone's like, oh my God, have you read that blog? You have to go read that blog. So that's the goal. That's the journey of this whole class. So we're going to start out by looking at what doesn't work. And this is an incredibly good example of what doesn't work. So I apologize if this is your blog, but hopefully you can learn a lot from it. I did try to pick a blog that wasn't really for writers or authors because I didn't want to embarrass anybody, but I'm not really sure actually what this blog was supposed to be about, and that's the biggest problem. Um, One of the things you find when you go to blogs that just make you cringe is that you don't really understand what they're about. They don't have a theme or a topic. They just kind of are the ramblings of a person. And so we see that here. I mean, one of the things I say is that I want you to be able to tell within 6 seconds what a blog is about. And if you look at this blog, I have no idea. It's black. It has pictures of palm trees. Clarity is important. Having your blog have a particular theme is very important, because then you attract the same type of people to your blog over and over again. Having the right kind of images that portray what your site is about, and not just a black background, but something that actually tells us, hey, this site is about blank. Having information about who you are as the blogger and why you're doing this blog, very important. None of that is present here. So I think we can all agree that this is probably a good example of bad blogging. So let's move on to a better example. Still not completely great, but at least we'll know what this is about. Okay, so now we have a blog that at least we have some really strong clarity about what the blog is about. It says that this is a Civil War horror. That's the name of the blog, Civil War horror. So, Come to the House Divided series of Civil War horror novels. A Fine Likeness, the first in the series, is available now. So this is all very good. This tells us what this blog is about, and it defines that this is an author who has some books out that are about the horror of Civil War. You even have some imagery here that depicts the Civil War. And you have books in the background that let us know that this is going to be about books. There could be some better branding of this. This is very simple. Like, this general book background is actually just one that comes with one of the blogger templates. It would be nice to have something that was a little bit more. If this gentleman has actual books out, let's put the pictures of his books instead of just general books in the background. It would be nice to brand this banner so that it shows off his books. Because right now it just feels like a general blog about Civil War. You have to actually read the text to know that this person is an author and has books out about it. We want to have the imagery of a blog actually let us know we're an author or we're going to be an author, and have some imagery that really captures our attention and we know immediately this is what this blog is going to be about. And in it, like I said, this does it, but it does it in a very generic way. And you want to have things, especially if you already have a book out, that are more specific, that really tell people, oh, here's my books. So some good things and some bad things about this blog. This is an actual, I think this represents a lot of blogs that are out there. That we have I would say we probably have like 30% of the blogs out there are just hideously bad, like we had just seen before with the Moonwind. And then we have another 30% that are probably in this category where they're generally good. They tell you what the blog is about, and they stick to topic. He doesn't so much on this very first blog post, but if you go down the list, you can see here's a Civil War photo Friday. He has his writing milestones about a Civil War series. The one thing that I would say is that his writing is a little bland, and it goes with just kind of the way the rest of the blog is. It's very bland. He's got a theme from Blogger that he hasn't made any changes to. He has no logo. There's no picture of his books. We know what this blog is about, but there's nothing really to brand him that makes me say, oh, I know who this guy is, and I know what these books look like and what they're about. And then when you read through his posts, there isn't I don't get a strong feeling about the voice and tone of his books. There's a lot of really strong information, so maybe his books are informational, but considering the name of his blog is Civil War Horror, I would think that it's Civil War and it's a horror novel somehow, which would make me think that we should have some more horror-based concepts both within the writing and within the imagery on the site. It kind of meanders. There really isn't anything here that makes me go, wow, I really want to read this. And I really want to come back and read this over and over. Now, if you are a serious Civil War buff, there's a lot of information. So he's going to be attracting people who like information about the Civil War. And that's fine if that's who his books are targeted to. But again, he says Civil War horror. That implies quite a lot. It implies that either this is a horror novel that is based during the Civil War, or that he's talking about the horrors of war. In which case, there should be a strong voice that it talks about the kind of the evils of war and how scary things are during war. And really, I'm just getting a lot of information. So another area that you want to think about with having a good blog isn't just that you stay on topic. This guy was great at staying on topic, but that you also have a strong voice. Carry over the voice from your novels. And that's where this and a lot of blogs kind of fall down. They may give really great information, or they may stay on topic really well, but they have a horrible voice. Or they have a really strong voice, but their topics meander everywhere. You just don't know where they're going with it. So this is the example of, like I said, what you see most often and why it doesn't work. Even though it may work to a little bit, he probably has a general following, but he probably doesn't garner like really fanatic fans, people who are like wanting to come back to his blog again and again. And that's what we're going to get there. Towards the end of these, I'm going to show you some blogs that really do inspire people to come back again. Okay, that was just a little taster of one of our videos for an upcoming class called The Dreaded Blog: Why the Heck You Need It and What the Heck to Write. So I'm going to go over a little bit more about what the class is going to be about. As you just saw a video that was just several minutes long, and it was just a part of that video training. There's going to be quite a few more videos that are part of the training, and this particular training lasts an entire month. So what we're going to cover in this training is why blogging is essential for authors. Not just, oh, you should blog. It's essential for authors, and we're going to go over the pieces and the reasons that you should be blogging, um, and why your editor and your agent will want you to have a blog and will be excited if you have a successful blog. So we're going to go over what that means and how to get there. We're going to go over the types of blogs, the type of blogging you can do, and how you can decide what type of a blogger you're going to be. There are specific types of blogs and blogging styles that work for particular types of genres. And we're going to go over those and help you to decide what's going to be best for your particular writing. Then we're going to go over these incredibly important questions that I think every blog should answer in under 6 seconds. So if someone comes to your site, you have just a few seconds to capture their attention. We're going to go over what questions your blog should answer immediately, so that when people, in those first few seconds they look at your blog, they know exactly the answers to these questions. And then, how do you successfully promote your books and yourself? We're going to go over all of those strategies with how you do that within your blog, um, and how you can, instead of just having a general blog that maybe talks about what you ate for breakfast, how you can have one that really accentuates your writing and accentuates who you are. It's actually an extension of your writing, and really helps people to understand what they're going to get before they even buy your book. Then we're going to go over the 7 essential tools for blogging success. These are tools that every single blog should have, and they're kind of technical, so we're going to have videos that go over how you get them, how you implement them. We're going to go over them on the WordPress platform, and we're going to go over them on the Blogger platform. And then finally, the one that everyone wants to know about: how do I get people to my site? How do I get traffic? Oh my gosh, I have this site and it's just been sitting there. So how do you get people to come and interact and really become a part of your site, and so that you sell books through that site? And so we're going to go over that. That can actually be a class all by itself. I've taught whole classes on traffic, but we're going to go over the specifics that you need to get started and you're going to see immediate results from. And in order to show how all this works, we're going to go over a specific example. I have one of my own blogs that's just kind of been sitting there, and we're going to go over each of these steps, and I'm going to transform my blog, and you're going to watch the process happen, and then I'm going to show you my successes, like how much my traffic has increased and what kind of responses I've started getting because of these changes. So you'll see that they actually do work, and they can work in a very short period of time. So join us. This class is coming up in the next few days. It's going to start April 5th. I'm actually going to be teaching it not on my own site, but I'm teaching it from Margie Lawson, who does wonderful classes on writing. She has having me teach this class on blogging. So go to margielawson.com. The class is only $30 for the entire month. I think that's a screaming deal. And then sign up for our monthly class schedule. I'm going to have my own classes coming up that we're going to teach through this site. And those who are on our mailing list will get free class tasters. And what it's going to be is you're actually going to get, I'm going to put out one of the video lessons for each class that I'm offering, so you can get a taste of what it's going to be like. And if you don't want to learn, if you take the taster and that's not for you, you don't have to, but at least you've learned that lesson. And you'll get those all for free as long as you're on my newsletter. And all I'm going to do is send out monthly schedule and information about classes, and then any discounts I have for any live seminars coming up or larger classes that I'm going to be doing. So sign up for the newsletter and go ahead and check out margielawson.com and join us for the blogging class. Thanks. If you're watching this on the blog, you can just sign up below. If not, if you're on one of the video sharing sites, then come to iwisecoach.com, and then we'll be sure to get you the schedule for the upcoming classes and your free tasters every month.